Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Girdhari Radha Girdhari Radha Jaya Radha Girdhari Radha Girdhari Radha Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे। जय राधा रस बिहारी राधा रस बिहारी राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें। जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव। जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। बोलो श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीम् उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Welcome everyone in Bhagavad Gita class. So last time we have seen till 6.10. So today we'll see from 6.11 to 12. Verse number 11. We'll start from there. Okay, so verse number 10, what was that? Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasya sthitah ekaki yat cittatma nirashira parigraha. A transcendentalist should always engage his body, mind and self in relationship with Krishna. He should live alone in a secluded place and should always carefully control his mind. He should be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. So here Lord Krishna is telling the property of a transcendentalist. A transcendentalist should always live in a secluded place. Okay, so in secluded place he can think about Krishna, he can meditate upon Krishna. So in that 6.10 we have seen understanding Yukta Vairagya and Phalgu Vairagya. So what is Yukta Vairagya? Yukta Vairagya means appropriate renunciation, the thing which is required, and Phalgu Vairagya means improper renunciation. Phalgu Vairagya is also known as Markat Vairagya or Samsan Vairagya, and Yukta Vairagya is known as appropriate renunciation. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has rightly mentioned, Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharaham Upayunjatah Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. When one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts everything in relationship to Krishna, so one is rightly situated above possessiveness. So principle of yukta is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 6.15. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmashu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukha. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So Lord Chaitanya instructs Srila Rupa Goswami at Dashwamayat Ghat. And what is the Falgu Vairagya? Mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.256. Prapanchikataya buddhaya harisambandhi vastuna mumukshibhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathayate. When one person is eager to achieve liberation, renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is God, incomplete. So whatever is required, if you renounce that, then that is known as Falgu Vairagya. And what is Yukta Vairagya? Appropriate. Whatever is required, you have to follow that. That is called appropriate renunciation. So that we have seen in 6.10. Now we will see 6.11. Dhyana Yoga, text number 11 and 12. So what is text number 11 and 12? Suchau dese patisthapya sthiram asanam atmanah nati uchhritam nati nicham chailajin kushottaram tatra ekagram manah kritva yat chittendriya kriyah upavishyasane yujyad yogam atma vishuddhaye. Okay. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses and activities and fixing the mind on one point. The one who wants to practice yoga has to go to the forest or secluded place and follow the procedure to meditate upon Krishna. So how to practice yoga? One should go to a secluded place. So this is the required thing. The yogi should then sit on very firmly, okay, and practice yoga to purify heart. Okay, so first he should go to a secluded place, then should lay kusha grass on the ground. So first thing is required, go to a secluded place, then lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. So on the kusha grass you should cover it with a deer skin or any particular soft cloth. And then cover it with a deer skin and soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high or nor too low. It should not be too high, very high. You are sitting at very high, at a very much height, and not it should be a very low. Okay, you can see in the picture how a particular yogi is sitting on the kusha grass on the ground, and he should be situated in a sacred place. The particular place should be situated in a sacred place, like Kurukshetra was a sacred place, holy place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly. Okay, once you have chosen a secluded place, then lay kusha grass on the ground, then cover it with a deer skin or soft cloth, and then it should not be too high or too low and should be situated in a sacred place, and then finally yogi should sit on it firmly. So in this way yoga can be practiced. Refutes so-called yoga societies in big cities. Big cities do not offer such circumstances as expected here for yoga practice. So if you are going to a secluded place, it is good for yoga, but if you want to practice in city itself, then it is very difficult, because there will be lot of disturbance, material thinking, material requirement, desire. There are so many demons available in the city where you cannot actually yoga. Because one who is not self-controlled and disturbed in mind cannot practice meditation. Oh, if there is no peace within, then you cannot practice yoga. You cannot meditate upon Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if you want to practice meditation, you have to choose a secluded place and follow the procedure given in 6.11 and 12 verse. Because one who is not self-controlled and disturbed in mind cannot practice your meditation. So your senses should be in control. Therefore, the best means of spiritual realization in Kali Yuga is chanting of the holy names. Reference Brihan Naradiya Puran. In Brihan Naradiya Puran, it is rightly said that in Kali Yuga, Harinam, Harinam Sankirtan is recommended. So, the one who wants to see Lord Krishna has to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So for Kali Yuga, Harinam Mahamantra is best suitable to meditate upon Krishna. That's why we take meditation on Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is called meditation. Okay. So in Kali Yuga, only Harinam Sankirtan is best. Okay. Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nasti eva, kalau nasti eva. Kalau nasti eva, nasti eva gatir anyatha. So in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, and there is no other way. Kalau nasti eva, nasti eva gatira anyatha. Okay, so for Kali Yuga, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam Sankirtan is best form of yoga. Best form of yoga. Then we will see verse number 13 and 14. Okay, so verse number 13 and 14 describes how to meditate upon Krishna. Okay. Verse number 13 and 14. Samam kaya shiro gribam dharyan achalam isthira samprechyanasi kagram swam disasyanavalokayan prasantatma vigatbhir brahmachari vrate sthitah manah sanyamyam achito yukta asita matparah. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line. This is the best way of sitting. You should hold your body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. So Lord Krishna is explaining how to meditate upon me in this verse 6.13 to 14. Okay, so one should hold body, neck and head erect in a straight line. So one cannot sit like this. One should sit like this, straight, and stare steadily at the tip of the nose and look at the tip of the nose. That is the best way of meditation. So how to meditate? One should hold one's body, neck, head erect in a straight line. This is a very clear way of Krishna has described how to meditate, how to sit, what should be the posture. Okay, and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Okay, so sitting straight in a line with erecting body, neck and head in a straight line, then stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life. Okay, so your mind should be controlled. If your mind is controlled, it means your senses are in control. If your mind is not controlled, senses are not in control, and you cannot. It is nearly impossible. If your mind is not controlled, it is nearly impossible to meditate upon Krishna. One should meditate upon me within the heart. So Lord Krishna is explaining Arjuna, oh Arjuna, one should meditate upon me within the heart. Because super soul resides in the heart. And make me the ultimate goal of life. You should make Krishna as goal. I want to meditate upon Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. I want to serve devotees of Krishna. I want to serve devotees of Krishna. Dasanudas. That should be the thinking. That is the right mentality of meditating upon Krishna. Vigat bhir means devoid of fear. It is a very important quality to practice Ashtanga yoga. There should not be any fear. And if Krishna is there in the heart, why to fear? Of whom? There should not be any fear. Vigat bhir, devoid of fear. There should not be any fear inside the heart. Okay? If Krishna is residing in the heart, there should not be any fear. Krishna consciousness is the only basis of fearlessness. It is mentioned in 6.14 Yoga. We'll see purport of Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so cause of fear. What is the cause of fear? It is due to the perverted memory of forgetfulness of one's eternal relationship with Krishna. Why one fear? Because they have forgotten Krishna. They have forgotten relationship between a living entity and Krishna. If you know this, the relationship between Lord and living entity, you will never afraid of anyone. There will be no fear inside. Okay? Or fear will go away. Fear is a demon. If you don't know the relation, if you don't remember Krishna, if you have forgotten the relationship between Krishna and living entity, then fear will reside in the heart. But in the same heart, if you remember Krishna, fear which is residing in the heart as a demon will go away. So wherever Krishna is there, fear is not there. Wherever fear is there, Krishna is not there. Okay, so that is the right way of thinking. So cause of fear, it is due to the perverted memory of forgetfulness and one's eternal relationship with Krishna. Supporting reference Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37. Bhayam Dutiya. So, in Yajnavalakya it is said, Karmana manasa vacha sarvasthaso sarvada sarvatra maithunna tyago brahmacharyam prashakshate. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words and mind, at all times, under all circumstances and in all places. No one can perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. So wherever one is practicing sex life, cannot meditate upon Krishna. So Krishna and sex life both cannot live together. No one can carry on. So brahmacharya is taught therefore from childhood, when one has no knowledge of sex life. Children at the age of 5 are sent to Gurukula or the place of a spiritual master, and the master trains the young boys in strict discipline of becoming brahmacharis. So without such practice, no one can make advancement in any yoga, whether it be dhyana, jnana or bhakti. So there are 3 types of yoga: jnana yoga, dhyana yoga and bhakti yoga. So if you are not following brahmacharya life, you cannot understand these three types of yoga: Dhyana yoga, Jnana yoga, and Bhakti yoga. The one who okay, so importance of celibacy. What is the importance of celibacy? Rules of celibacy by Yajnavalkya. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, and mind at all times, under all circumstances, and in all places. This is the rule of celibacy by Yajnavalkya. And role of celibacy in Bhakti yoga: strict celibacy is a must for Jnana, Dhyana schools. But only in Bhakti school, the conception of householder brahmacharya is allowed. In Bhakti yoga, householder brahmacharis are allowed. Householder brahmacharya is allowed. But in Jnana yoga and Dhyana yoga, householder life is not allowed. So these two are practiced before getting married. Cult of Bhakti yoga is so powerful that one can automatically lose sexual attraction. So Bhakti yoga is so strong, then one will not feel having sex life. Being engaged in the superior service of the Lord and experiences higher taste. Okay, so if you are experiencing higher taste in Krishna's name, pastimes, form, then you will not have any taste in the sex life or in material life. So in Bhakti yoga, there is no question of sex life. Okay, in Dhyana and Jnana, there may be this thing, but in Bhakti yoga, sex life is doesn't come into picture, because Bhakti yoga means they are the one who always remember Krishna. Okay, so this is the text number 13, 14. Now let's see text number 15. Krishna describes the goal of Ashtanga yoga as attainment of the kingdom of God. So the goal of every yoga, not even Ashtanga yoga, the goal of every yoga is attaining Krishna. Okay, attainment of the Krishna. Yunjanevam sadatmanam yogi niyatam manasah santim nirvana paramam mat sanstham adhigacchati. Okay, 6.15. Thus practicing constant control of body, mind and activities. So you have to have control on body, mind and activities. Once you get this, now you can see Krishna, you can obtain Krishna. The mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God. Those who are yogis, those who are mystic yogis, if their mind is controlled, they will attain Krishna. This is 101% sure. By cessation of material existence. If your mind is controlled, you can be away from material miseries. If you are away from material miseries, you can obtain Krishna. You can attain the Supreme God. You can attain the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the ultimate controller. He is the ultimate proprietor. He is the king of whole, every universe. He is the first person and also he is the last person. Okay, everything manifests from Krishna and everything unmanifest into Krishna. So both the things are there. Okay, so goal of Ashtanga yoga is attainment of kingdom of God by cessation of material existence. So once you are in yoga practice, it means your mind is controlled. If your mind is controlled, you are away from the material existence. And if you are away from the material misery, you 101% you will attain Krishna. Okay, goal of Ashtanga yoga is not meant for health improvement, material facility, entering into void or magical jugglery gymnastic feats. Okay, people just do show off. They practice yoga, bodybuilding, for fitness, and all these are all false things. Yoga is done to control the mind, to keep your mind from the material miseries, to attain Krishna. This is the goal of mystic yoga, Ashtanga yoga. Okay, and you can attain the kingdom of God if you are practicing the yoga in a right manner. So, description of Param Dham, spiritual abodes. Okay, we will see the kingdom of description of Param Dham. What is Param Dham? So, kingdom of God is everywhere, but spiritual sky and planets thereof are called Param Dhama. The kingdom of God is everywhere. This is all kingdom of God, all universes. But spiritual sky and planets thereof are called Param Dham. Spiritual sky is known as Param Dham. Reference, abode of the Lord is clearly described in Bhagavad Gita as that place where there is no need of sun, moon or electricity. Bhagavad Gita 15.6. In Krishna's abode, in Golok Vrindavan Dham, it doesn't require the light of sun, moon or any electricity. It is self-illuminated. So, wherever Krishna is there, it is the effulgence of Krishna. It is self-illuminated. What is the qualification to reach there? For any yogi is a person with proper understanding of Krishna's position and his plenary expansion, Vishnu, indicated by the Lord in the words Mat Chitta and Mat Para, 6.13 to 14. Mat Chitta and Mat Para. So, the one who knows Krishna's position and his plenary expansion, Vishnu, then that particular person can understand Krishna and eligible to go to back to home Godhead, Golok Vrindavan Dham. And reference is in Sweta Swatar Upanishad 3.8. Tam eva. One can overcome the path of birth and death only by understanding the Supreme Personality of God. So, if you want to go beyond the birth and death cycle, then you have to remember Krishna. You have to understand the name, pastimes, form of Krishna. You have to understand the position of Krishna. You have to understand the plenary expansions of Vishnu. That is the correct way of understanding. If you understand all these things, you are eligible to go home back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan Dham. So, Krishna consciousness devotee is the perfect yogi because his mind is always absorbed in Krishna's activities. Sa vai manah Krishna padar vindyo. Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto, 4th chapter, 18th verse. Okay. So, who is eligible to go to Krishna's abode? The one who is yogi. What is the task of yogi? Always thinking about Krishna. The one who thinks about Krishna, it means his goal is already achieved. His mind is controlled. He is serving devotees. He is serving dasanudas, dasanudas, dasanudas. Okay. That is the 6.15. Now 6.16 to 17. Obstacles in progress for an aspiring yogi. Okay. So, what are the different problems comes in yogi's life? So, what is the unregulated lifestyle like we are practicing every day, every now and then? Oh, what we are practicing? We are not thinking about Krishna. We are just attached to material life. We are just attached to physical things. This is my wife, this is my father, mother, son, daughter. All these are material attachment. This property belongs to me, that property belongs to me, the entire wealth is mine. All these are material desire. All these are the Falgu Vairagya comes under Falgu Vairagya. You are attached with the material things. If you are attached with material things, then you will be away from Krishna. If you are detached from material things, you are close to Krishna. You are attached to Krishna. Okay, like we have seen that attaching to Krishna means detaching to material things. Attaching to material things means detaching to Krishna. So what are the different obstacles in path of yogi? Swapna avabodhasya, sleeping, not a regulated sleeping. Okay, too much sleeping. Ahar, eating. What you are eating? Are you eating Mahaprasadam? Are you eating a meal which is not a Mahaprasadam? Okay, a meal which is offered to Krishna is known as Mahaprasad. A meal which is not offered to Krishna is not known as Mahaprasad. It is you are eating sin. It is like you are eating sin. If you are not eating Mahaprasada, whatever is not Mahaprasadam is known as you are eating sin. Okay, this is known as unregulated, sleeping, eating. Then viharasya, recreation. Karmashu, work. What you are working? Are you working for Krishna? Are you attached to your work? Are you attached to the result of work? That is known as unregulated. Karmashu, ahar, swapna, avabodhasya, viharasya. These are all unregulated. Sleeping, creation, work, eating. If these are unregulated, then these are the obstacles in the path of yogi. If you are sleeping and you are sleeping too much, or if you are sleeping too less, both are dangerous. Both are obstacles in the path of yogi. You are working at a very good position, but you are not working for Krishna. You are attached to the result of action, your result of activity, then that is unregulated. If you are eating too much, or you are eating too less, or you are eating non-Mahaprasadam, then you are eating food, a meal which is not offered to Krishna first. That is sin. You are eating, that is sin. You are eating a sin. Okay, so that is all this comes under unregulated things, obstacles in the path of yogi. Obstacles in the progress of an aspiring yogi, that is unregulated lifestyle. Extravagance in eating, sleeping, defending, mating can block advancement in practice of yoga. The things which are unregulated, these are the obstacles in the path of yogi. So benefit of regulation brings to a state of no material misery. Okay, unregulation and regulation. Okay, if these things are regulated, your eating, sleeping, mating, defending, if these things are regulated under regulation, under proper guidance of spiritual master, under particular guidance of Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, then this will take you to the Golok Vrindavan Dham, back to home, back to Godhead. Okay, ahar. What is the ahar? Eating. Yogis should eat only what is required to keep body and soul together. Anything more is too much eating. Okay, so you have to eat only to keep body and soul together. That's all. Okay, if you don't eat, that is also not good. You will leave your body, then soul and body will be departed. Okay, so to keep soul and body together, you should eat Mahaprasadam. You should eat not too less, not too much. Okay, so food must be offered in yajna, otherwise one eats only sin. That is only Bhagavad Gita 3.13. Okay, so it should be offered to Krishna first. A meal which is to be eaten should be offered first to Krishna. Then it becomes Mahaprasad. And you should eat Mahaprasad only. And you should eat a control, you should regulate your eating. So fast only according to scriptural injunctions. No artificial concocted fasting. Nowadays people fast to gain some material position, some material things, to get some money, to get some benefit. So that is just sin. That is not allowed. Our scriptures, our gurus, acharyas have forbidden this activity. You should not fast for any material things. You should fast only for Krishna. That is the regulated fasting. That is called regulated eating. Work and recreation works only for Krishna. No desire for sense gratification. Therefore, no material leisure. Okay? You should not think about material sense gratification. If you are thinking that, then you are breaking the rule of work and recreation. Swapna avabodhasya. Sleeping. Your sleeping should also be regulated. As far as the sleeping is concerned, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness. If Krishna conscious person is sleeping, he sees in his dream Krishna. Okay, so that is the regulated sleeping. As far as sleeping is concerned, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duty in Krishna consciousness, and therefore any unnecessary time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. If he is sleeping, he is also thinking about Krishna. If he is not sleeping, he is working for Krishna in the service. Okay, what is the working of Krishna? Working for Krishna. Working for Krishna means you are not attached to the fruits of action. That is working for Krishna. That is karma yoga. If you are attached to the fruits of action, this is the karma kanda. Okay, so avyartha kalavatam, kalatvam, avyartha kalatvam. Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhya Leela 23.18 to 19. A Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in the service of the Lord. So sleeping more than 6 hours is considered as lazy and dreaming. So don't sleep more than 6 hours. So sleeping more than 6 hours is not allowed in the scriptures. It means you are dreaming. Okay. And you are under the laziness. You are too much lazy. You don't want to progress in the Krishna consciousness. Okay, that is called too much sleeping. Comparing practices of Ashtang Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. So now we will see the difference between Ashtang Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. Bhakti Yogi means Krishna conscious person. So what is the criteria? What is the principle? Verse 6.10. Ashtang Yoga. Constantly engage body, mind and self in relationship with Supreme. Okay, so you have to think about Krishna always. Constantly engage body, mind and self in relationship with the Supreme. That is told in 6.10. What is Bhakti Yoga? Constantly engage body, mind and self in relationship with the Supreme. Okay, that is the 6.10. Now 6.10 also said relationship is Supreme. Impersonalists and yogis are partially, imperfectly and indirectly Krishna consciousness. So 6.10 also tells about that those who are yogis, they are also one type of Krishna conscious person, or they are progressing towards the Krishna consciousness. Bhakti Yoga, devotee is fully Krishna consciousness. Perfect and direct relationship is Supreme. Okay, so a Bhakti Yogi or a devotee knows relationship between Krishna and living entity. He understands the position of Krishna. He knows the plenary expansions of Krishna, Vishnu. So that is the understanding of Bhakti Yogi. Then next criteria is the place of practice, also mentioned in 6.10. So live alone and secluded place. So 6.10 says live alone and secluded place. Purpose to avoid disturbance by external objects. Okay, the one who is Ashtang Yogi is suggested to go to a secluded place. Why secluded place? Because it avoids any kind of material miseries or disturbance. In Bhakti Yogi, devotee stays in good association and this thus avoid unwanted association. Thus always aloof from material things. Okay, so devotees are always away from the material miseries. Devotee always thinks of Krishna and never forgets him. Okay, then criteria number 4, mind control, first business of any transcendentalist. What is the first business of any transcendentalist? Control your mind. So how Ashtanga Yogi does? Struggles hard to fix mind on super soul. So although Ashtanga Yogis are also progressing towards the Krishna consciousness, but there are 99% chances or 90% chances that they can or they will not be able to control their mind. Okay, Bhakti Yogi, devotee always thinks of Krishna and never forgets him. Concentration of mind on the supreme is called Samadhi. Concentration of the mind is called Samadhi. Then last criteria, consciousness free of desire and possessiveness. A prerequisite to practice yoga root stage, in perfect determination, one should not hanker after unnecessary material things that entangle him by feelings of material possessiveness. Okay, yoga root stage, the final stage of yoga. And what is the primary stage? Beginning stage is known as yoga root rukshu. That is known as beginning stage, and yoga root is the final stage, advanced stage in Ashtanga Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, direct Krishna consciousness means self abnegation right in the beginning stages, wherein there is very little chance for material possessiveness. Rupa Goswami has said Yukta Vairagya principle. So 6.16, Nati asnatastu yogotsi na chaikantam anasnatah na chatisya swapna silasya jagrato naeva charjuna. 6.16. So there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep at all enough. So sleeping is very much required. 6 hours sleeping is good. If you are sleeping more than 6 hours, it means you are unnecessarily dreaming. You are in dream and your sleep is not complete. Then 6.17, Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmashu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukha. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So this is the difference between Ashtanga Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. So Bhakti Yogi means what? Always thinks about Krishna. A devotee always thinks about Krishna. Okay, so no one can challenge a Bhakti Yogi or devotee. Comparing practices of Ashtanga Yogi and Bhakti Yogi, criteria number 6, manner of sitting, that is mentioned in 6.11 and 12. So Ashtanga Yoga, not too high or too low. So when you sit, there is a seat on which you sit, but it should not be too high or too low. Deer skins, kusha grass, Okay, you should lay kushagrass on the ground, and on that a soft cloth or deer skin is spreaded. And what is the sitting posture? Straight, vision on tip of the nose. Okay, stare at tip of the nose. In Bhakti Yoga there is no such specification. Okay, so this is the property of Ashtanga Yoga. This is the property of Ashtanga Yoga. Then comes next criteria, celibacy, mentioned in 6.13 and 14, must for Jnana and Dhyana schools. Okay, 6.13 and 14, Krishna tells Arjuna that must for Jnana and Dhyana schools. So that is done in Ashtanga Yoga. And in Bhakti Yoga, only school which allows Grihastha Brahmachari concept. So in Bhakti Yoga, Grihastha Brahmachari concept is allowed, but in Jnana and Dhyana it is not allowed. So that is so Jnana and Dhyana comes under Ashtanga Yoga, and Grihastha comes under Bhakti Yoga. Then comes criteria number 8, fearlessness, 6.13 and 14. Okay, the one who is Bhakta, if Krishna is inside, it means you are devoid of fear. Okay, Vigat Bhi. Vigat Bhi means devoid of fear. Full Krishna consciousness is the only basis of fearlessness. So if you are in Krishna consciousness, if you are a transcendentalist, you are devoid of fear. Then number 10 criteria, goal of life, 6.13 to 14. So Krishna in the heart of every living entity, indicated by mat chitta and mat para in text number 14. Okay, so in Ashtanga Yoga, Krishna in the heart of every living entity, indicated by mat chitta and mat para. And in Bhakti Yoga, only Krishna is there. Okay, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra always. Then last criteria, result, ultimate goal of yoga practice, 6.15 mentioned in 6.15. Cessation of all material existence, kingdom of God achieved only by one in perfect understanding of Krishna. Okay, so by yoga practice you have to be away from the material miseries. And in devotee, in Bhakti Yoga, devotee is a perfect yogi because always absorbed in Krishna's service and has perfect understanding of Krishna. Reference Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj was always thinking about Krishna. And this was the only property of Ambarish Maharaj could save him from Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni has to bow down before Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj was a very, very great devotee. Okay, although Durvasa Muni was also very great devotee, so because of some proudness and all, he got defeated by Ambarish Maharaj. Otherwise, they are both at number 1. Ambarish Maharaj is also very, very good devotee of Krishna, and Durvasa Muni is also very, very good devotee of Krishna. Okay, so this is the comparing practices of Ashtanga Yogi and Bhakti Yogi. Practices. What are the practices of these two kinds of yogi? So first criteria, regulation in lifestyle, 6.16 and 17. Okay, Ashtanga Yoga, extravagance in the 4 demands of the body, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, is a block in advance of in any yoga. Whether it is Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, if you are eating too much, that is not allowed. If you are eating too less, that is also not allowed. So that is all. If you are sleeping too less, that is not allowed. If you are eating too much, sleeping too much, that is also not allowed. Okay, so these are called unregulated life, unregulated practice. The first is eating. Quantity, you should eat only what is required to keep body and soul together. Anything more is too much eating. Okay, so to keep body and soul together, whatever is required, eat that much. So quantity for a devotee, eats only limited, fast only according to scriptural instructions, no artificial concocted fasting. Okay, so this is the quantity of a devotee, eats only limited. Always remember Krishna. Fast only for Krishna, not material fasting. Then quality, only food in goodness. A yogi, Ashtang yogi, only eats food which are in goodness. Food must be offered in yajna, otherwise one eats only sin. Okay, so before eating, that food should be offered to Krishna. So it will be sanctified, purified by Krishna, then it becomes Mahaprasada. Okay, no meat eating intoxications. Only Krishna Prasadam. Bhakti Yoga devotee only eats Krishna Prasadam. Then talks about sleeping. So sleeping, if more than 6 hours, is known as lazy. You are dreaming. Okay, so sleeping more than 6 hours is laziness and dreaming. And in Bhakti Yoga, following avyartha kalatvam, Rupa Goswami and Srila Haridas Thakura. Okay, then last point, the regulation in work and recreation. In Ashtang Yoga it is not there. In Bhakti Yoga, works only for Krishna, no desire for sense gratification, therefore no material leisure. Okay, so benefit of regulation for a Krishna conscious person, regulation in all above bodily activities brings to a state of no material misery. Okay, so in this way, by regulating eating, sleeping, defending, mating, we can become progress in Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so the goal of Bhakti Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga both are same, attaining Krishna. But Bhakti Yoga is, Srila Prabhupada has told that Bhakti Yoga is perfect, is all complete in self, where only Krishna is the goal, only Krishna is the beginning, only Krishna is the middle, only Krishna is the final. Okay, we will stop over here today meeting. If you have any question, you can ask, or we'll. Okay, so no question, we'll stop over here.